Wacky samurai action, time-traveling storytelling, and Kaido reveals his true dragon form. I would say that One Piece is jumping the shark, but honestly, considering how weird the entire series has been, I think it's practically impossible at this point. Hello my friends, it's time to break down some of the latest chapters of One Piece. I have been very late to a lot of these reviews, and I absolutely apologize. The last couple months of my life have been incredibly busy, and I've barely had any time on the weekends to work on videos. And I've been sort of prioritizing others over One Piece, and I do apologize for that, because a lot of really crazy things have actually been going on in the series lately. And last that we left off, Luffy and his friends were just getting comfortable of being in the Wano Kingdom, when suddenly we had the big revelation that apparently Kinemon, Momonosuke, and Kanjuro are actually time travelers. They're from 20 years in the past. And initially, I thought that this was kind of stupid. It was that moment where I was like, okay, One Piece, you're finally starting to get a little too ridiculous for me. But honestly, it kind of works within this show. There have been way weirder things from the series, and as time has gone on, I've been able to accept the fact that there's now officially time travel in the One Piece show. Of course, when it comes to something that's ridiculous and fantastical, it's always easy to tie it to a devil fruit power, and that's exactly what's going on here. We get to learn that in the past, Momonosuke's mother, Toki, actually had the Toki Toki fruit, which allowed her to transport people into the future. And in a last-ditch effort, she manages to send Kinemon, Kanjuro, and Momonosuke to the future as they wait for these 9 legendary samurai to arrive and fulfill a prophecy to save the Wano Kingdom from the threat of Orochi and its brand new ruler, Kaido. The devil fruit powers in the One Piece anime series have run the gamut from things that seem practically useless to things that are completely overpowered. But something like time travel is a little different than anything that we've actually seen from the show, and they were very smart to actually give it to a character who is suddenly eliminated, as now we don't have to live with the possibility of seeing these characters go through any more time travel adventures. They basically used their get out of jail free card once, and they're done with it. They can sweep it under the rug. But it actually does make sense that Kinemon, Kanjuro, and Momonosuke are from 20 years in the past. These guys look like they're completely out of their own element. And I don't know what it is about that, but it's funny and so appropriate for these old school looking samurai. Despite the fact that you can't really say that One Piece takes place in any particular period, as they sort of choose what sort of technology they use when it's convenient to the actual story. But all of this stuff doesn't matter. The most important stuff that's been going on over the course of the last couple of weeks is the sudden reappearance of big characters like Jack, who is incredibly powerful but still manages to get attacked by people in the Wano Kingdom who can actually deal damage. That's a pretty big freaking deal. But it's Kaido. Kai-freaking-Do. Finally revealing his devil fruit power. He has a zone-type devil fruit, which means he can actually transform into an animal or a half-human, half-animal form. And his animal is none other than a giant, super pissed-off looking dragon. Think of Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, except way more evil-looking and maybe even more massive. The very first time that you actually see this, I didn't even believe that it was Kaido. It looks so drastically different than anything that we've seen from his character, and so large and imposing that there's no way that these characters would be able to take him down. And yet it's immediately followed by Luffy immediately going on the attack and fighting against Kaido. This early on in the arc, we have this big, giant battle between Luffy and Kaido, and it's unlike anything that I could have possibly expected, because Luffy pretty much pounds his dragon ass into the dirt, repeatedly hitting him with these massive hockey-infused elephant gun-styled attacks. Seeing him slam into the city, it's almost like watching like a giant Godzilla fight. It's incredible, it's an absolute spectacle, and I cannot wait to see if the anime version is gonna fuck it up. All of this does a really great job of establishing that the Wano Kingdom arc is going to be a little crazier than what we've actually seen previous from the series, especially because initially it seemed like they were going to be coming up with a generic plan to stop Kaido, but all of this was completely interrupted when Kaido was suddenly attacked by Luffy. And even though he is repeatedly hit by him, Kaido is basically just in a drunken stupor here. He just looks like a drunk guy who's being attacked, and reverts back to his regular giant human form and takes out Luffy in one shot with a freaking giant metal club. One shot. Even after all of that, just showing that Kaido is an unstoppable killing machine. Now, he doesn't actually kill Luffy, they actually end up kidnapping him, leading us to the next part of the story as the curtain falls on the first major part of the Wano Kingdom arc. I'd say what's the rundown on this chapter, but I'm talking like about a bunch of other chapters and I'm missing a lot of details. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is try to get back on track with you guys on where I am in the One Piece series, as I basically just got done reading all of these chapters back to back in the last couple of hours and trying to come to terms with all of them. I will say that I am going to try and be a lot more consistent in the future, as things are really starting to pick up and they're getting very freaking exciting. But my big takeaway from all of this is really just all this stuff with Kaido. I mean, it's impossible to not love his giant dragon form. It's so appropriately great for his character and a great sort of like visual representation of what his power is like. He literally towers over the entire Wano Kingdom with his massive dragon form. There's also a lot of other new characters who are introduced here. That one big dude who's fighting against Jack who manages to fight him. His name escapes me at the moment, but that scene was really shocking for me because Jack was nigh unstoppable when we saw him on Zou. Absolutely no one could stop him. And now there's just this random one-off goofy-looking character who actually manages to damage him. The Wano Kingdom is going to have a lot of really surprising elements to it, and I can't wait to see more of what it's actually going to offer. The time-traveling stuff, like I said at first, I didn't want to accept it because of just how crazy it was. But the way that it was actually utilized here, honestly, I have to admit I do kind of like it. And it makes so much sense for Kinemon and Momonosuke and Kanjuro to be time travelers. They just look so freaking out of place. They also do a good job of showing us how all these characters actually got separated in the previous arcs of the series. They go through it in a number of pages, and it all actually adds up and makes sense, as if this was sort of George Lucas planned by Oda at some point, even though I personally believe he's kind of making this shit up every single week when he's actually writing and drawing the actual manga. Still, I think it pays off. It's always really surprising, and Kaido's giant dragon form just cannot get enough of that. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts about some of the things that have been going on in One Piece lately. I'm going to do a more proper review on the next chapter, trying to break things down just a little bit more, but I just wanted to let you guys know that One Piece is not going anywhere on the channel. I still plan on reviewing it. It's just I've been busy as fuck lately. I cannot stress that enough. I also want to get back to the One Piece anime series again because supposedly tonight's episode is Carrot going into her Sulong form, and you know I gotta check that out. So there it is. That's my thoughts on these chapters of One Piece. Like I said, things will be a little more organized when we get to the next review, but these are just my quick thoughts. Kaido Dragon, fucking awesome. There it is. If any of you guys would love to give me your thoughts about everything that's been going on in the Wano Kingdom arc thus far, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of Kaido's actual dragon form? What do you hope to see from the rest of this story? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.